Hello children, I welcome you all to our English class of class 7. Today we'll discuss about our unit 3 reading C, the magic of silk, and we'll discuss about some vocabulary and grammar given in this unit. So let's know about them. In reading C, let's know about the story of magic of silk. This is a story from China. Long time ago, there lived a woman in a hut in the forest. Her husband was eaten away by the tiger. The woman grew old and she had daughter with her, and she was unable to do the household chores herself. So her daughter Simi helped her always in all possible ways. They bred silkworms at home and used to make finest silk cloth. They used to sell this silk cloth in the marketplace and used to maintain themselves. One day, while she was returning from the marketplace, there was a heavy rain, and Simi ran into the nearby hut to take the shelter. When Simi was asking for the permission to enter into the hut, there was no reply. So she had to enter into the hut, and then she noticed that the hut was totally dirty, and even there were some unwashed and unclean utensils on all over the floor. She cleaned the hut and cleaned the dishes and adjusted it very beautifully and neatly. Then she thought that she now has to return to her mother, as the mother might be worrying for her. Then enters an old man with a white long beard. He will see that the hut was totally cleaned and everything was properly adjusted. He then saw the little girl doing all this. He was quite impressed with her and thought that he should give her a present. Then he immediately went into the room and had cut a lock of his beard, white long beard, and covered it in a cloth, and then gave it to that little girl and told her that she should not give it to anyone else, nor she should open it until she reaches her home. Then she went to home and explained this to her mother, and then they opened it. To their surprise, it was the finest of the silk that they had ever seen. They used to use this silk every day to make the silk cloth, and to their surprise, the silk was again of the same bundle like it was before. Simi and her mother became famous for their wonderful silk and lived happily ever after. This is the story of magic of silk. Let's discuss about the vocabulary and grammar given in this unit. Under vocabulary, let's learn about antonyms. Children, I guess you all know antonyms, right? So antonyms are the words opposite in meaning with each other. Let's discuss some antonyms given in your vocabulary section in your textbook. Victory is the antonym of defeat. Timid is antonym of brave. Humble is antonym of proud. Accept is antonym of refuse or reject. Dependent is antonym of independent. There are many antonyms, children. You can try doing many worksheets given. You can even practice them given in your textbook, right? So let's move to the grammar section. Now, we'll learn the usage of should and must. When should we use the word should and when should we use the word must? This is a rather bit of confusion that is created in everyone's mind. Like when should we use should or when we should use must? But people knowingly or unknowingly try to use one in other's place. But before that, children, we'll try to get a clarity when should we use should and when should we use must. Okay, let's get to that. Should. Should is used to indicate something that is desirable or advisable, and must is used to indicate an obligation that is to be followed. Let's know some examples and discuss about them in detail. So here are the examples. You should apply for a job. Here, should is indicating something that you are given an advice. Should is used as an advice. You can apply for a job. You are given an advice. Next example. You must stop playing games on mobile. So that is an obligation. Obligation is like a condition. You must stop playing games on mobile. Okay. So that is an obligation and that is to be followed. Next example. There should be a way to do something. So here, should is used in a way to tell you some advice or there is some desirable way of doing something. By doing something, you can get some solution is being advised to you in third example. Fourth one, she must learn to drive. She must learn to drive. So that is an obligation, like she has to do that. That condition must be satisfied. Learning driving is like a good helpful thing that will help people in many ways. Okay. So it's like a great thing that you need not depend on anyone. Even that example is telling the same thing. She must learn to drive and that can be helpful as well. Okay. So must is like a condition or an obligation that should be followed. Children, learn how to use should and must and please don't confuse and use one for another. Okay. Let's know about degrees of comparison given under grammar. Degrees of comparison is generally used with the parts of speech, adverbs and adjectives. And degrees of comparison is described in 3 degrees: positive, comparative and superlative. Children, I try to do this in a pictorial way so that it will help you for a better understanding of the concept. Here comes your positive degree. The positive degree first defines or describes any object, and here there is no comparison. We are talking about only one thing, one person or one particular definition we are giving. Okay, so here are the examples like big, friendly, spotted, smelly, etc. So here comes your next degree of comparison, that is comparative degree. So here we are trying to compare one thing with the another, one person with another, etc. So here we are using the word than as a conjunction or the connector that comes after the comparative degree. So bigger than, smaller than, something that is followed always is the word than. Okay. So here is our third degree of comparison, that is the superlative degree. Superlative degree is the last degree of comparison, that here we are using two or more than two things, like three things we can see. It is the most highest thing that we can ever see, like when they are compared, this is the cutest one, friendliest one, biggest one, smallest one. So this is the highest degree of comparison out of all the 3 degrees of comparison. So here are some examples like light, lighter and lightest, fast, faster, fastest, big, bigger and biggest, and happy, happier, happiest. You can better understand this with another example, like Rudy is a tall boy, Ronnie is taller than Rudy, means he is compared with Rudy and told that. So that is why we have the word than. Okay. And last we have Robbie, who is the tallest of the 3 boys. Okay. So here we are comparing 3 boys and giving out our superlative degree. Try to practice other degrees of comparison given in your textbook under grammar section. That will help you to better solve any exercises given. Children, I hope that you all enjoyed today's class and understood the concepts better. Thank you for listening to the class. Happy learning, and let's meet in the next class.